What is going on, YouTube? It's H Dynasty Buffs. Video 3 of 4-part series. This one's on wide receivers. Be giving my top 5 wide receivers with their grades, draft capital projections, and it'll be my little bit of rankings. And I'll sprinkle in some sleepers and some guys I like you can get late in your Dynasty rookie drafts. All right, with that being said, let's get it. All right, and first, wide receiver. My wide receiver 1, I don't think I would say he's my guy, but is what it is. Analytics, data, film, he's the guy. Jackson Smith and Jigba at Ohio State. All right, so when I look at wide receivers, I like to look at their physical traits, production, route tree, route running. Ideally, you want to get the guy that can win underneath, in the middle, and out deep, right? So I like to think about the guy that everybody knows who's like one of the best wide receivers ever, Calvin Johnson, right? So if we, you think about it, we compare to Calvin Johnson. Are any of these guys Calvin Johnson in this draft? No, they're not. Okay, do we have a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson type prospect?
No.
Almost, but no. Right, so in my opinion, there's 2 guys that are close and that can win in those 3 levels. Right, so number 1, I have Jackson Smith and Jigba. He can win underneath, in the middle, primarily yards after the catch, and we see a lot of Deebo Samuel type things, and then deep. He struggles deep, in my opinion, just because he doesn't have that top end speed you want. So at best, he can be a low-end wide receiver 1. A guy that you can build your team around. He's kind of almost like CeeDee Lamb. That was my comp for him. But even CeeDee Lamb struggled his first couple of years of being that alpha wide receiver 1, right? He was behind Amari Cooper and had to learn. This past year, we finally saw CeeDee Lamb take over and be the wide receiver 1. But I think this coming year will be his year. So I think JSN is, maybe 2 years removed from being the wide receiver 1 that we want him to be. But, potential's there. And my wide receiver 2 is Quentin Johnston at TCU. Yes, it's probably a hot take now. I know QJ is falling off boards. Oh, he's terrible. He shouldn't even go in the first round. No, he should. Again, we'll take a look at our three things, right? So he can win underneath, right? We've seen the agility. We've seen the release. We've seen the comeback. We've seen all the in routes, all the underneath routes. We've seen the flat. We've seen the screens, all of it. He wins there. We see him win over the middle, and everybody calls him the yak monster, right? He's the yak guy. Again, he struggles deep, but he struggles differently from JSN. JSN's just kind of slow. JSN's fast for his size, but he struggles high pointing the ball, has a tendency to just catch with his body. He's been working on that, and he even admitted to himself, yes, I need to work on that, and I need to improve that.
QJ, right?
Yeah. So he's been doing that. And for that reason, I have QJ as an elite grade, right? So similar guys to grade out in this range, JSN and QJ would be, I mentioned CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Treylon Burks, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. Right? So we're building that archetype, right? So if we look at JSN, he's like CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion. People say he's Cooper Kupp, but I think he's more similar to CeeDee Lamb. Size-wise, agility-wise, speed, CD wasn't a burner, but he was pretty fast. JSN running a 4.5, pretty good. And then QJ, in my opinion, has that Alpha X ceiling. He does, in my opinion. He's not there yet. He's he's probably 2 years away from being that elite wide receiver 1. He's a guy, in my opinion, you can take a chance on, and you can build your team around. All right, and moving on to wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4. These guys are going to be, wide receiver 2s on your team. They're good, they're great, but they're not going to be that top 10 guy that you want on your fantasy team and you can build around. So This is USC's Jordan Addison. Addison was college's wide receiver one back when he played at Pitt with Kenny Pickett. And he was pretty productive this past year at USC. But, I struggle with Addison because he doesn't win well in all three of those areas. Sure, he can win underneath, but not elite. It's just okay. It's okay. And then you watch him in the middle. It's okay. Deep. Okay. He does everything okay. Nothing great, nothing elite. He's okay. He graded out as great. So similar guys that to go in this range. Like last year we had Jamison Williams. I know everybody loved that guy. Like, oh, he's so fast. He's so good. But he's only good at two things. Deep, and he was okay underneath. But he's a wide receiver too. Jordan Addison's a wide receiver too. I've seen people comp him to Devontae Smith. But no, Devontae Smith was actually athletic, win underneath, win in the middle, and win deep. Addison doesn't do that. Another guy that I have graded similarly, but I think he's in a different tier. Right. So the next one would be Josh Downs. Downs, when we watch Downs, right? He's out of he played with Drake May and he played with Sam Howell at UNC. He's a small guy. He's a little guy. He's fast, but he's got that agility, right? He's got that nice release. He's so good underneath. I know the archetype everybody wants him to be. I want him to be because I'm a huge Elijah Moore fan. Is Elijah Moore. But he's small. He can't win deep. He can't win out far because he just doesn't have the size. And he never will. You can't grow. Doesn't have the size. But underneath, in the middle, in the slot, he's your guy. He's a PPR monster. He's a quarterback's best friend. Could be your first read on a low passing offense, high running. He can be your guy. Again, a wide receiver too, solid pick. Definitely a guy to look out for. I like the guy. I've seen him all the way up to people's wide receiver 2. For me, I have him at wide receiver 4 because he's so limited on his size. Height-wise, not strength size or PG.
Can he be a faster Edelman?
Maybe, but yeah, but the thing with Edelman too was he wasn't out there running nines, right? He wasn't out there running verticals, going up on people. I mean, Downs has the athleticism to do it, but he can't go up. Like Elijah Moore, he's the same dude.
Mm.
They're both amazing, but they have to be kind of schemed. They'll never be your wide receiver 1. They'll be only wide receiver 2 at best. All right, same thing kind of with these next guys. I like them. I want to like them, but they're limited because of their size. They won't have that Calvin Johnson-like ceiling that we want them to have. And don't get fooled by people that you say that, oh, these guys are the guys. They're the ones that you can just have. They're going to be top 5 wide receivers. I just don't see it. So next ones would be Zay Flowers and Marvin Mims. So everywhere you've seen recently is Zay Flowers is wide receiver 1. He's the guy. I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes first off the board. I've seen. I wouldn't even be surprised if Bill Belichick tomorrow calls up like the Titans and goes, "Hey, we want to trade up," and they trade up and they take Flowers, and he goes off the board first. I would not be surprised if that happened. Or maybe Bill trades up to 8 for the Falcons. Who knows? Flowers struggles in press. He does. If you watch the film, I know he's so productive at BC. No, he struggles in press. He struggles deep. I know everybody's seen the videos oh, he's going up high, he catches it. Nah, it ain't going to fly in the NFL. I'm sorry. It's not. He can't win at all three levels. In the slot, yes. He definitely can win underneath. In the middle, that's kind of it. Wide receiver 2 at best. Yeah, I don't think he can be a wide receiver 1 in the NFL. He's never going to be a true alpha X wide receiver just because he's short.
And also because their defensive backs are typically taller and faster in the NFL.
Yeah, compared to, competition like at BC. All right, and next guy I talked about, Marvin Mims. I love Mims. I've been the Mims guy. I've been hoping that Mims just goes super late. That way I can grab him and he'd be like my diamond in the rough. But no, everybody found out about him. The dude tested out well at the combine. Dude was a monster. Again, he's little. We like building the short guy archetype and we want that to succeed, but it just doesn't. For construction of a NFL team, yeah, it's good. But for fantasy, it's not great. He's not even, Keenan Allen size to be going in the slot and winning. It's another Elijah Moore type archetype guy that I like. I like that. I've been an Elijah Moore fan. But don't expect any of these other guys to be your wide receiver ones. It's wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 range. So most of these guys, everybody else I have going. So Downs, Flowers, and Mims I have going in the second round. Early second round. The only ones, in my opinion, that should go in the first round are QJ and JSN. Addison, you can make an argument towards the end. But if you're putting a first round draft pick into a wide receiver, they need to be great at all three levels at a minimum. Elite in 2. None of them are elite in 2. That's why I have them as second round picks. All right, some dart throws I like. Some guys you can probably get late. I really like Jaden Reed out of Michigan State. I'm a fan of.
They dart throws or they diamonds in the rough?
Okay, Jaden Reed is one of my diamonds in the rough. Yeah. So Jaden Reed, Charlie Jones, Elijah Higgins. He looks like he's becoming a tight end. Trey Tucker and Matt Landers. These are guys that will go later in drafts. Probably day 3. So that that's around round 4, 5, 7, that range. I have Reed going in round 3. I like Reed. He reminds me of kind of like a Tyreek Hill. He's not like a huge burner like Tyreek Hill, but the way he moves in space and crisp route running and movements, I like his game. And given the right situation, I think he can be a great starter in the NFL. Another one we can look at is I like to talk about Trey Palmer. I'll just touch on Trey Palmer. I have Trey Palmer going in the mid, like early 4th round, late 3rd round. Trey Palmer, in my opinion, I said this, I think he's Jalen Hyatt, but faster. Hyatt is only good at one thing. It's just deep. Palmer is great and probably better, in my opinion, than Hyatt deep. But Palmer can also win in the middle. Palmer, if you want to take a guy, you like guys that just run straight, super fast, take Palmer. I would not be surprised if Palmer goes higher because the NFL values speed and they love that, right? They love dudes taking the top off of defenses, and you just have to respect the speed. People like that.
You got any sleepers, H?
Yeah, I like I like Trey Tucker out of Cincinnati. I know he gets. So most people know, obviously, Tyler Scott, right? Everybody knows Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott's really not a sleeper, in my opinion. Trey Tucker, I think he's another short guy, little guy. I think he can start off on special teams, work his way in the rotations, wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 2 upside. If you watch his tape and watch his film, he looks good. He's fast, athletic, wins underneath. I mean, he's got the speed. Just learn how to make a little bit better release in that first. Maybe do a half step, get deep, and then you're good.
Any other sleepers?
I mentioned Charlie Jones out of Purdue. Again, another small guy. Got a lot of small guys here. I'll talk one more segment, just small segment later on the big guys. But Charlie Jones, another guy, super fast, elite athleticism. I think he's kind of like the Alec Pierce this year. Guy wins in the slot underneath, has the potential to go out deep because that speed. Got to respect it, but just not as clean, not the best hands, not very good on his tools, his arsenal, his bag of tricks that he has. The fake out defender just doesn't have that. For the big guys, I know Mingo has been getting a lot of hype recently. I have him at wide receiver 9 right now. I liked him before the combine. I have a video saying that, right? I said, keep your eyes out on Mingo because I like him. He's one of the only few guys in this draft that's a big dude. And if he tests out well, don't be surprised if he goes up shooting the trap boards. He went from being a 5th round guy to now a 3rd, in my opinion.
Anybody else in our age that is a good athlete that you think would be a sleeper candidate?
Another athlete that you can look at is Andre Yosevas from Princeton. I like his game. Yeah, athleticism is there. Understands route tree. Understands press coverage. Understands man coverage. Issue I have with him is that his route running is not like crisp. He rounds sometimes. Looks like he can clean up his routes. And then his hands, right? I know he has smaller hands, right? But you can have reliable small hands too. Instead of trying to clap, if you will, just let the ball come to you and like suck in, right? Grab that thing. I like him. I have him going in the 4th round. Elite athlete. Has the tools, capability. If you watch his tape, I know he posted a video on his Twitter on his tape. He can win at all 3 levels, right? But the issue again is the competition. The competition is going to be a lot harder in the NFL than it was in the Ivy League.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So he knows what to do. We've seen him win at the level in the Ivy League, but can that transition to the NFL? I don't think it can year 1, but development, right? The tools are there. I hope he gets a great spot. I hope he goes somewhere that they can really develop him. I would love to see him, go to. Maybe he goes to the Chargers like late. I would like that for him. Maybe learn from Keenan Allen. That'd be really cool. Maybe he goes to maybe the Texans late. Maybe they take a flyer on him too because they like big guys that are athletic. Maybe they take a flyer on him too. They can develop him.
Yeah, and he's taller at 6'3".
Yeah,
he's pretty fast. I mean, I think he was only 205, but room to grow. Like you said, most guys as they age don't get thinner. But certainly his background as a tremendous athlete, hopefully that'll translate as he goes through. I mean, he'll need it to in order to be successful. But again, he's one of the bigger receivers and with the traits that you talked about. I like him. He's been my sleeper for a while.
All right, I got a question for you, then we'll close out here just for fun.
All right.
For tomorrow, let us know in the comments if you guys are seeing this. Obviously pre-NFL draft. Who do you think goes in the first round tomorrow? All right, Max. I mean, who do you think goes in the first round and where?
I think JSN and I think QJ is going to go in the first round, late first round. And where are they going to go? It's anybody's guess on that one's kind of tough. I'm not really into predicting which team will get them. It all depends. Some of these mocks that you've seen, kind of head scratchers for me, so it's kind of hard to place. I know where I'd like for them to go.
Where would you like for them to go?
I'd like JSN or QJ or JSN. Actually, I like JSN to go to the Chargers.
Man, for fantasy, dude. Oh,
that would be great. And then QJ probably to, I hate to say the Ravens, but the Ravens need somebody like that, a big body. Actually would probably open things up for some of those guys.
I like both of those landing spots, man. If JSN went to the Chargers, I could see him even go up to like pick 103 in like rookie drafts, or like maybe 102. That would be insane.
Yeah.
To be paired up with Herbert, who has like nobody now, that is immediately their guy. And then if QJ goes to the Ravens and Lamar goes back, man, that would be awesome to see Lamar actually have a real wide receiver. That'd be awesome. I like this. For me, I think JSN. I think he goes to the Titans. I really do. Something's telling me he's gonna go to the Titans or Falcons. Maybe the Falcons trade back a little bit, then they take him. I don't know why they would do that, but something sounds like the Falcons. QJ, I want him to go to the Chargers. I think if QJ goes to the Chargers, Herbert will work with him. The wide receiver coaches will work with him, and he can develop into the guy that they've always wanted. I can see it. I think I would not be surprised if Flowers goes and Downs and Addison. Obviously, I think all of them can go in the first round. I wouldn't take those guys in the first round, but I can see it happening because teams are desperate for wide receivers.
That sounds good.
All right. With that being said, that's it. That's our part 3 video of 4-part series. Go ahead and like the video, share the video, give us your thoughts and comments, and let us know who you like. Who are your rankings? What are your wide receivers? What are the wide receivers you guys like?
We should do one on the Cowboys draft.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do that one later. Anyway, we got more videos coming now that it's officially rookie draft season. We're going to be posting videos and giving us our thoughts and comments on rookie drafts. And we're going to be showing our picks this year and the guys that we're going to grab basically everywhere in our Dynasty Leagues. All right. Thank you. Have a good one. See you next time.
All right. See you.